Hi, I'm Mr. Pike, and I've got a short message for you that I wanted to just kind of direct towards parents, in particular, parents with children that are in Christian schools. I've been teaching in Christian education for 21 years in elementary school, and so I focused with parents that wanted to build a firm foundation in their child. That's why they've sent them to Christian schools. And even if your child's not in a Christian school, this video will pertain to you. And the message really is very simple and it's pretty old school, as I'd say. And I want to encourage you to develop the habit of sending your child to church, to Sunday school. And there's kind of an issue that runs within Christian schools and going to church. And that is basically a lot of parents feel that because their children are already in a Christian school, like here at my school, we teach Bible each morning. They feel that they're getting that Christian foundation, and in a way, it's almost like church. So I think some people have kind of justified that and replaced that for going to church on Sunday. But being in this for quite some time, I've always looked at the child at the lower elementary age, which I've taught at. And I'm always assessing and wondering how are they doing when they grow up, when they mature. Are they still following Christ? And you'd be surprised at how many students, it seems that the percentages are not as high as I'd like them to be with children born and raised in Christian families and going to Christian school. And that once they hit about the high school level, they radically make a U-turn. And some of them return to Christ later on in life, but a lot of them don't, sadly. And as a parent, I think sometimes we often put really huge priorities on what school your child goes to, what sports they play, thinking about scholarships, what college they're going to go to, who they're going to marry, what their career is going to be. And we don't put enough emphasis on their spiritual Christian walk. And as simple enough as it is, going to church, forming that habit in a young age, I found is essential. And here's why. And here's the best that I could kind of think of is one of the main reasons is that when students that don't go to church, that aren't rooted in a church, they're not going to a youth group at all. If let's say they go through our school, which goes to 8th grade. The minute 8th grade's over and they're done with our Christian school, this environment, they're going to a polar opposite environment if they're in the public schools. And if they don't have a fellowship they're going to, it's almost too late because they haven't had any friends there in a church, haven't established a habit, which is really important. Let's face it, going to church on Sunday, it's a spiritual discipline and it's a habit that you kind of exercise, and that habit gets at a young age gets trained in, and children get used to doing that. When they don't have that habit, and so many of them, if they're not involved in a youth group, they fade away really quick. The peers, the influences in high school are powerful and strong. So I just wanted to encourage you in this short video. I know that with COVID, a lot of people were displaced from churches, started to do online church. It's just so essential that, especially through the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, that they get rooted by the time they're in junior high in a church, in a fellowship, and they start to make friends there so that by the time they hit high school, they're already settled in. And the students that I have seen, one general theme, and I'll end with this, of looking at what makes the big difference in high school and later on as far as their Christian faith. And 100%, all of the students that I know of that are still actively pursuing Christ, that are not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, they're serving. And I could see a difference in their character as far as Christians at the high school level and college level. All of them were, the essential commonality was they stayed in a youth group and they kept going. They kept getting involved in their church. They would always tell me, yeah, I'm still doing this. They're still going to church camps. They're helping out in activities through their church. And, I'll admit, even me as a Christian school teacher, having 3 children of my own, at times would rely on the Christian school and thinking that would be the best. My parenting and the schooling would suffice. And I kind of minimized a little bit Sunday school and going to church, and the impact that would especially make in their walks in the high school range and the young adult range. So that's it. I just felt it on my heart to encourage parents. I have a perspective of being within Christian education, like I said, for a very long time. So I've seen, probably thousands of children younger and evaluated where are they going? What's making that difference in their lives as far as following Christ as adults? And it's a really simple old school message, but I hope that encouraged you, to give you something to think about and pray about. Thanks.